Look, I'm gonna cut right to the chase. I'm so fucking tired of this like whole Kendrick versus Drake beef. Like, I've been over this shit since like the second week of it happening. And to be honest, I'm not really a massive fan of either of them. So for all the Drake and Kendrick sexuals out there, I'm not gonna pick a side because I don't give a fuck. Truthfully, and I'll die on both of these hills, J. Cole had the best diss track out of the entire beef. And that new Kendrick album is hot ass. That shit fucking sucks, and you will not convince me otherwise. I'm at the point where I think a lot of you motherfuckers are just forcing yourselves to like it because you hate Drake. And no, I don't care how deep the album is supposed to be with all the deep, thought-provoking messages that are in the album. Because if I can't get to the message that you are talking about that is so fucking deep, if I can't even stand to listen to it, what good is the fucking message? Because this album genuinely sucks. Okay? It is hard to listen to. But that's besides the point. This video is about you, Drake. Look, I'm not gonna act as if I hate Drake or anything, because I most definitely don't. Shit, my favorite song of all time is a Drake song, okay? But I'm also not gonna sit here and act like I am some Drake mega fan. I'd be sitting here meat munching this dude. I was never really that infatuated with Drake's music. Don't get me wrong, he got hits, and he has a really solid discography. But over the past few years, I've been just so sick and tired of Drake, because you can just tell he doesn't care anymore. He is at the worst stage for any sorta successful musician, if you ask me. This shit has just become a chore for Drake. His last 3 albums, and no, I'm not gonna count this shit because I just don't think it's an album, but the last 3 massive albums that he has released have all been the exact same thing. These 3 albums right here are all the same. They're structured the same, they talk about the same shit, they damn near sound the same, and it's tiring to hear. It's very clear to anyone that isn't either just a Kendrick fan who just hates Drake, or a Drake sexual who loves everything Drake does, that Drake doesn't have anything to talk about anymore. Or at least he doesn't have anything notable to say, especially if he's gonna release an album every fucking year. Because that was such a massive appeal for Drake, honestly, when it comes to his older music. Yeah, it does sound good, don't get me wrong. But to me, it's the fact that he is saying something, and through each album, you can see the progression in his skill and also his career. You know, you have the come up where he's the underdog and everyone's doubting him. But then he makes it to the top, but he's not happy with what he's accomplished and people are still doubting him. Then he's made it to the top, and there's nothing anyone can do or say about it. Then he has firmly cemented himself at the top. There was an actual story and cohesion throughout each of these projects. Sure, some more than others, but the general vibe was still there. Nowadays, every album he releases seems like he just went into some folder he has of songs and just threw 20 completely random songs together and called it an album. Or he's just trying to trend hop, which I know Drake has done that. He's kind of been called the culture vulture for years now, and how he always is trying to steal or use other styles, but that seems just what he's doing now. But nowadays, I mean, every song that he makes kind of just contradicts one another. I mean, one song he's talking about how he's the top dog in the rap game and he's friends with everyone, and he can get everyone or whoever the fuck he wants on his album. Then the next song he's talking about how everyone is fake and is only using him for their own personal gain and how he has no real friends. Then the next song he talks about how he has all this money and how he has 2 bitches per room and how he can take anyone's bitch and lives in this stupidly expensive mansion that us peons can only dream of owning. Then the next song he's talking about how he can't find real love because girls only want him for his fame and money, and how having this big ass mansion is lonely. And of course, you have your pop rap hits, and then you have the filler Drake songs that just sound like every generic Drake song that ChatGPT could probably make. And then you have your gangster rap because I guess, I don't know, Drake still thinks people believe he's a gangster, but I guess he can make it sound good. And clearly you can't talk about Drake anymore without discussing the whole beef with Kendrick and now his label that he's suing or whatever. I don't fucking know. Which I'm not gonna go into depth or really talk about all that much because you already know everything there is to know about it, okay? And you've already picked your fucking side, whether you like Drake or you like Kendrick or you don't give a fuck about either. Yes, Drake lost, and this entire beef has really shown how emotional and sensitive he is. I mean, all Kendrick did was pretty much just take everything Twitter has ever said about him for like the past, what, like 5-10 years now, and just put it into a song that got popular on TikTok. This making it a trend, and of course, people will follow trends like sheep. So everyone just started hating on Drake because of it. And you can just tell that this has impacted Drake quite a bit, which, like, to an extent, I can kind of understand. I don't think Drake is a pedophile. Yes, I know the video that everyone is going to talk about or bring up whenever this whole conversation gets brought up. Yes, I understand that Drake has some questionable shit, but I do not think Drake is a pedophile, okay? But I can understand that, like, if you're a Drake and like the entire world is calling you a pedophile and that's like kind of your brand now, even though like the word pedophile has lost all meaning entirely. But again, being someone of Drake's status and being pretty much labeled now as a pedophile, yeah, I'd sue my label too if they allowed this shit to happen. Like, yeah, I want my fucking money and I don't want to be called a fucking pedophile because who the fuck wants to be labeled that? But this has clearly weighed on him quite a bit, and I know that he tries to play this like tough guy act on social media, whether that's on Instagram or going on some random streamer's stream, like trying to pretend that like it doesn't affect him and that he doesn't even pay attention to it. But let's be real here. Everyone sees right through it. It is straight bullshit. This affects him, and it has been affecting him. This is honestly like the biggest reason why he lost the fucking beef, honestly. Because he got emotional, you know. He's a light skin. He is the emotional light skin meme at heart, okay? And because of being an emotional light skin and having his ego hurt, he pretty much destroyed the whole like mysterious like mega rich rapper who may or may not be a mob boss in Toronto, like that type of persona that he built for himself over the years. Yeah, that's completely gone. Nobody believes that shit anymore, and a lot of it is due to him. Like, he didn't know I think he overestimated himself in this beef and kind of just like fucked up whatever like plan that he had. And also, I'm not gonna lie, from some of the responses he had, they didn't age that well. And also, I mean, he is fighting against a machine that is clearly pushing Kendrick, okay? If you want to sit here and act as if Kendrick isn't being pushed by like the labels and like TikTok and everything else, all the fucking higher ups and elites, it's essentially Drake versus like the elites at this point. Fuck Kendrick. Like, Kendrick don't even got nothing to do. He just got himself a hit song that has been botted to like God knows how fucking long. This shit has been botted through so many fucking streams. It's not even funny. So Drake is pretty much now just fighting like his label, which I don't know how that's gonna fucking work. But also it shows the hypocrisy in Drake, because he's sitting here acting like he didn't get the same fucking treatment. Because everyone remembers when Spotify for like every album up until now, it was just Drake, and Drake. Sounding like fucking academics over here. They made a whole fucking playlist for him. That's how hard they were fucking meat riding for this man. Okay, so Drake saying that like Kendrick's getting unfair fucking treatment is wrong because he got the same fucking treatment. But that's not the point. I say all this in my incoherent rambling to say that I think Drake needs to just go off grid, go completely AWOL for about like 5 years, where in that time he lives life and actually spends time making an actual album that has thought and care into it. Because Drake can most definitely like just leave for 5 years and will still be just as popular, if not more popular, when he comes back. He's not like all these other rappers like Lil Durk or Lil Baby, where like if they don't release an album in a year or two, motherfuckers just forget about them. Drake can leave for 5 years and come back, and like the whole world would probably have forgotten about this beef, and he's gonna come back bigger than ever. All he needs to do is just come back and drop a good ass album, and it'll be like nothing ever happened again. And he can use his fucking corny Drake line that we all know that's gonna fucking be on there, where he talks about how he left the game and now he's back to take it or something around there. But again, I'm a nobody, so
don't care, still don't care. I don't care. I don't care. What'd you say? I just want to know what you said. What did you say? I don't care.